Would you have your heart in your mouth there, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a pressurised environment in the box, but when the scores are level with 2 or 3 minutes to go, then yeah, it's a little bit out of your hands. I suppose you're hoping that the things that you've worked on over a period of time will come to fruition. But I mean, when it's that tight, it can be a bit of luck going for you or going against you. So in the end, it went for us.
Did you think Todd had the trick from there? Was it 55, I think, for the go-ahead point?
Yeah, we did have a discussion about that after the game. He thinks he always had the journey in him. But yeah, it's an interesting one because even the decision to have the shot versus scores a level, you need a certain level of maturity to make a decision definitively what you're going to do, whether you're going to look for someone in a better position, take the shot, rush the behind, all those things. So the bottom line is it's when you give the ball back with enough time for St Kilda to score, then that was always a risk. But I thought defensively, even for the whole last quarter, defensively we were pretty good. I think they only had it inside 59 times, but they managed to score from 6 of them. So there were some isolated incidents which we had to fix up, but defensively overall in the last quarter we were pretty good.
And Mason Wood, I don't know if we've ever actually seen a player ice the game like that when he's obviously been told there's 22 to go and he's got 30 to kick it. How did that scenario play out?
He just knew how long there was to go, and the AFL put the shot clock up, so he just did the maths and thought the game's over.
Did you train for those specific things, bro?
We talked extensively about it. We have trained late in the game scenarios, and I've got real confidence in our guys that they know what to do. Executing, it's another thing under pressure. But we had another example of Ben Brown late in the Fremantle game here as well. So all of our guys know what to do in that situation.
I don't know if you subscribe to the theory, but is the case of the more wins you string together, obviously the more belief, but in many ways that the players probably feel like it's their game no matter what the situation.
Yeah, there's no doubt winning builds self-belief. I thought we were a little bit... I mean, we did what we had to do today. We played some pretty good footy at times. St Kilda played really well. They defended really well. They made it really hard for us to play the way we wanted to play with ball in hand. I thought they were terrific. And on that, there aren't a lot of clubs at their home game who would show the sort of respect that St Kilda did to Drew Petrie this week. I noticed that Drew was on their banner. They allowed us to have scoreboard time. They allowed us to celebrate, an icon of our club in a really fitting manner. And not a lot of clubs would do that. So, we've got a lot of respect for St Kilda, what they do off-field. But, everyone should have respect for what they're doing on-field at the moment because they're a pretty formidable opponent.
And on Drew Petrie, obviously there was a lot of talk during the week about the big milestone and how significant it was. Does that play a motivating role today, or is it just business as usual?
No, it definitely plays a motivating role, but it's channeling that back into the team, which is the challenge. And we had a really good example in Brent Harvey playing his 400th, and the boomer effect looms large at our football club because 300 game milestone is massive for any player and any club, but when you've got a player running alongside him who's played 400, it has the potential to take the gloss off. But Drew's such a loved figure within our club. A lot's been spoken about him this week, and I had 6 or so guys talk about him after the game, and just the common theme coming through is what a genuine person he is. And we pride ourselves at North Melbourne on being real, and Drew just really personifies that. He's never got ahead of himself. He treats everyone the same, whether it's the chairman in James Brayshaw or our boot stutter. He's just a real person and a very genuine person. So the boys were motivated for him for sure.
Just with Daniel Wells, was a decision made, obviously in an ideal world you don't put him back on, but then when things got a little bit hairy, 2 minutes to go, I think we talked about before, 2 smothers in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was a significant call. Was the message up the line, so they weren't keen to put him back on, but they did say, look, if push comes to shove and you need him, then let us know. Push came to shove, and I said now would be a good time. But I'd probably moved on, like in terms of, that sounds callous, but made the decision that we've got the 3 on the bench, we've got to go with them. But then, Wellesley just willed himself to get back on. I spoke to him afterwards, and he just said I wasn't going to let it slip. So whatever I had to do, I was going to do. And that's, I think that just, again, we know internally what Wellesley's like, but, You know, he's a pretty strong character, Daniel, and but again, that just shows what they think of Drew.
You had a bit of a scare with Higgins with the knee as well. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. They just described it as a contusion, which is another word for a bruise. But there's nothing serious or structurally wrong.
Those ragtime girls, like girls, how critical were they in the first term as opposed to the second term? And what is it that seems North's doing that better this year? Is it maturity or what is it about that?
I think it's probably a bit to do with that, but it's as much to do with fitness and resilience because, you know, late in quarters when everyone's flagging a little bit, our guys tend to keep going. They had supreme confidence at three-quarter time that they'd run the game out because they've had some pretty significant challenges in the last few weeks. You know, consecutive 6-day breaks. You know, players getting injured in game, being down rotations, and they've fought through that. Today, I thought, to be honest, just to the naked eye, I thought after a longer break, maybe the cumulative effect of the consecutive 6-day breaks, we've travelled a fair bit. We're a little bit flat, but you know, I don't think we should harp on that because that tends to take gloss off St Kilda's performance, and we're under more pressure than we've been under for a while, and that's a credit to St Kilda.
Will you look at that in the next couple of weeks, rotating blokes out potentially?
No, not necessarily. Sam Wright's a good example today. He was a late withdrawal because he didn't quite come up from his ankle. And we just made a decision that Aaron Mullett had been playing really good footy in the VFL. So if we have someone who deserves to play senior footy ready to go, then if someone's not quite right, we'll make that decision based on getting a fit 22.
Brad, I know it's a weekly question probably, but can you speak of the season as a whole? I mean, I know it's only May, but you're undefeated. The satisfaction, I think you run home on paper might be the toughest, but can you just set the scene for us as far as the season goes?
We're really pleased with the platform that we've created for ourselves. But, you know, sound like a broken record, but I think our best footy's still ahead of us, and it's going to need to get to that point. I think Scotty Thompson made the point that if we keep just doing what we're doing, you know, we're a chance to get knocked over each week. So we're going to have to improve, and the boys are well aware of that. You know, you might think that complacency could creep in, but I can't think off the top of my head of any games that have been iced at three-quarter time. You know, the opposition's still been in the game, so we're going to have to get better, and we know that.
You seem to have that ability to stand everything throughout those first three quarters. Obviously, got back to front as well. But does that sort of run on goals and early in that last quarter trouble you? They did come at you and did keep. You looked static for a period there.
Yeah, I think there was a significant moment. I think Higgins had a long shot, hit the post. You know, they had the kick in, and at that stage, I think we were 26 points up. Now, it's a dangerous period, you know, because the opposition start rolling the dice, and they know they've got to kick multiple goals to win, so they start attacking you. Now, they can come unstuck pretty quickly, but now we had things set up the way we wanted for a kick in. You know, Andrew Swallow, great spoil, bounced off someone's foot straight to them. They transition for a score, so all of a sudden that keeps them in it. I didn't think that there were too many issues with us defensively. I just thought that they really attacked us and rolled the dice, and they did it really well.
We were up with Ben Jacobs' role and Jack Stead.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. You know, they to their credit, they changed his role as well. But I thought in the first half, Ben had that contest well and truly under control, and then they changed their system and structure, and we had to adapt to that, and Ben adapted again really well. So he's played multiple roles for us over the last month. And we're looking to get that flexibility into his game because he can do some great stopping jobs, we know that, but we need to maintain flexibility in modern footy.
Thanks.
Thank you.